Using astrology in the occult work is very important, because astrology is, in my opinion, one of the occult science. The modern astrologers like to think that astrology is some sort of modern science or some sort of psychology. This is very, very wrong. Astrology is connected with occultism. Obviously, you can be an astrologer without doing any occultism, but it is very difficult to understand what is astrology when you are reading or listening to some modern psychological astrologers. You don't understand why they are doing astrology, because astrology is about prediction and is about saying the things in the way they are. It's not going to speak to the people, oh, you know, everything is very good, or you know, you must work on your shadow side and so on. It can be done, but I don't know, you don't have need of astrology for this, or maybe astrology can be used for this, but it is not for sure the real astrology, because astrology have more power than this. And with astrology you can make predictions. And when you can make the predictions, the meaning is that you are not a good astrologer, that you don't know astrology at all. And obviously in astrology you can make predictions in the meaning that you can see the details, the real things that will happen in the little details, but you can see the general thing what can happen. And when you speak with your consultant, with your client, you can listen to them, and you can make a deduction about their situation and saying, okay, when you have this and this question now, and in the next months you have this and this solar revolution or lunar revolution or transits or secondary progressions and so on. And when we work even with some horaric chart, then I can say to you that it can be this or that in the future, and it is working. You can predict in this way, in a general way. You can for sure predict the future in astrology, and it is very difficult to change these patterns when they are negative. You can say what you like to your client. You can say, yo, you must work on your shadow side, you must this, you must this, you must be optimistic, I'm against fatalistic astrology, la 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 la. Okay, this is very good, this is very in the spirit of modernity, but this is not true. And I don't like propaganda or lies, and today we must all bow to the modern spirit, but I refuse to do so. I'm a pro-traditionalist, and I will never change in this, because the true is eternity, and the true who is changing is not true. So no progressive vision of the world. And what I like to say here is that I'm using astrology in my occult work, because you can use astrology in very different ways. You can use astrology to find a magical assistance for your ritual work with the looking at his or her birth chart to see if this person can work in magic, and if this person can be your assistant, and if you can work together in good way and with harmony. And you can use magic and astrology together when you use electional astrology to see when to make the rituals and when to make the talismans. And this is very important. The planetary hours and the planetary days and the position of the stars and the planets in the sky are very important to know when to do magic. It is even important for yourself to read your birth chart to know what kind of occult work you can work with. I mean, there are very different types of magics and occultism. I'm a believer in one God, and I'm hermetic in my position, so I like the hermetic vision of the world, the traditional vision of the world, and I like to work with the monotheistic concept. So it is the high level of ritual and the light side of the ritual what I like, but I know even to work with the dark side. I make different works with the spirits of Goetia, and I have different experience with them, but I must say that I can't say that I'm some kind of expert with them. I contacted the spirits of the Goetia and I worked with them, but there are some results and some phenomena what is happening, and I understand the atmosphere and the interaction now with them, what can happen and which way I must move myself. But you know, this dark side is only the side, one side of the absolute and the universal. So we can separate the good side from the dark side, the light side, basically not the good, the light side, because the good and the bad have nothing to do with light and with dark. You can find the good in every type of these two different perspectives. You can find the bad light and the good light. You can find the bad dark and the good darkness. In any case, when you work with astrology, you can use astrology making horary questions and about the ritual. But it's better that you use some other kind of divinations, I don't know, maybe tarot, because it's very difficult to make for yourself horary questions. You must use another astrologer to make this, but in any case it's not so important. You can use tarot in very good way. You can use scrying, crystal ball scrying, or you can use water scrying, it's the same thing, or you can use a mirror for scrying. This is my system. I use a mirror and I use times the water with candles. So you can use astrology even for now if to do a ritual, and which results you can have with a ritual, but you can use as a horror astrology. But please work even with tarot or some other type, different type of divination about this question, because it is better. And in any case, it is very important to know to have a magical diary and to write immediately about your working and your results and your impressions, and even your spiritual being in this moment, what is the perception about the reality and about the significance and power of what you are working. Then after some months or years you can read about it and meditate, but don't write please the things some months after or some weeks after you are making the working. Try to do it immediately. Make the magical diary immediately present when you make a work. This is very important. So I will make some other videos. This is only an introduction. Thank you very much. My name is Roberto Minichini. I'm an Italian and a Croatian, half Italian and half Croatian astrologer and occultist.